We're going to work on the windshield. We're going to tab into edit mode, and then we're going to go to the front of the car. We want to select this edge right here, and we're actually going to add in another vertex so that we have more curvature in this area. So to do that, we're just going to do W and choose subdivide. So just select this edge first by right clicking it in edge select. Do W, do subdivide, switch to vertex select, select this vertex, shift select this one, J to join, and then we're going to select this vertex again, do 7 for top view, Z for wireframe, and we're going to try to line this up a bit better with the reference. So I'm just going to do G and move this into position. Another thing we want to do is select one of these vertices, do B to box select, get the rest, and just bring this up until it lines up with this reference point here. And if you want to, now that we've moved the position of this, we can actually move the position of this one a bit so that it's more in the center of these two vertices right here. Now we're going to start the windshield itself. What we're going to do is just select this vertex by right clicking it, and then go over here, hold control, right click to select this entire loop right here. Do shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, and then we're just going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring this up on the Z axis. Then we can do 1 for front view and Z for wireframe, and we can start lining this up a bit. So just bring it down and start lining the vertices up. I'm going to take this center one and bring it down. This area from about here to here is pretty straight, so we're going to keep this pretty straight right here. If you want to, you can grab it on Z axis, hold control, snap it there, and it's perfectly straight. If you want it to have a slight curve, you can just bring it down slightly. This outer vertex or edge is going to have to run along here. We're going to have to bring these other ones over, so just select them, G to move them, and kind of move them to fit the curvature. Now we're going to want to line this up in side view, so we're just going to hold control, select this one, so we have all these selected, do 3 for side view, and just bring these back on the y-axis. And again, you're going to have to adjust these individually. The way I'm going to line this up on this outside is that I'm going to have this outer edge being kind of lined up with this outer point, and then we'll just inset this window so that we have that little indent when we get to it at a later point. So for now, we're just going to move these on the y-axis and just adjust them. Try not to move them on the other axis, just move them on the y-axis. This last one gets lined up right here because this is actually the corner point of the windshield. If you take a look at this right here, you can kind of see how it comes to a point. Now we're going to start creating the insets that will help create these details here, and then the inset that'll create this indent, and then this black rubber part, and then also the one that creates the window itself. But first we need to cut out a shape for this outer part. So this outer part, I believe, actually kind of connects up at the top. So it has this little other part that doesn't get stuck out. It's kind of indented a little, and then this piece sticks out a bit. So we need to make a cut with the knife cut tool to create this shape all the way down, and then create a similar shape on the bottom. For that, we're going to use the knife cut tool, but we're going to go to front view. So we're going to do 1, we go to front view, we're going to do K for the knife cut tool. We're going to go over to about where the corner is, and we're just going to left click and then start cutting out that shape. So we're going to go to about here-ish, and then we'll go over to here, and then lastly we can go over to here and just left click again and press enter. If you wanted this to end a little sooner, you could merge this one up this way, and then it would end a little sooner instead of ending all the way over here. I think I might want to adjust some of these points, so I'm just going to select them, do G twice, and kind of slide these up a bit to kind of match better the top of this reference point. Then once you're happy with this shape, we're going to select this, hold control, right click to select this, do shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, S, Z, and then -1 and press enter. That's going to flip it on the Z axis, and we'll just bring it down in this direction, and we'll bring it over into position. We kind of want to line it up with this outside of this one, so we're going to do G, and I'm actually going to scale mine down a bit and then just bring it over into this area. And I'm going to rotate it a bit with R. Once you have it in position, you're just going to do P to separate and choose selection. And then we're just going to go over here to tools, and we're going to go down, and we're going to do knife project, and that will cut into this mesh. Then we can tab into object mode, select this piece right here, and then just do delete and choose delete. Then we're going to right click on this mesh again, tab into edit mode, go to vertex select, so now we have our vertices. And I'm just going to tweak this a bit, so I'm going to select this one, shift select this one, alt M, and choose at last to merge those together. And then these down here, I think I'm actually just going to take these 3 and then shift select this one, do Alt M at last. Then we just want to join these 2 points together, so I'm going to select these 2 and then do J to join. I'm going to select this one and then just do G twice to move it down some. It looks like I actually merged the wrong vertex over here, so if I do Control L, it's going to select the whole car. It's not supposed to be like that, so I'm going to do Control Z. So to fix that, I'm just going to do Z for wireframe, and I'm going to select this vertex, do C for circle select. We're going to select all these. We're going to merge them them together, and we're going to do remove doubles, and then we're going to do V to rip it, and then it'll separate it nicely again. So we're just going to select all these. You want to do circle select so you get all the vertices that are on that point, and then we're just going to do W and remove doubles, and then we're just going to put our mouse up here, do V to rip it, and now you can see it's all physically separate, and then just right click to reset the position. So now when we do Control L, it's going to select just the window. We can do Control N to recalculate the normals. If it flips them in the wrong direction like it did for me, do Control Shift and N, and that will flip them in the opposite direction. Then we can tab into object mode, turn on smooth shading, and now we can work on these pieces. So we're going to create an inset for this piece, and then create some insets for this, and then insets for the window as explained before. So we're going to tab into edit mode, go to face select, and we're going to start selecting these interfaces. The only ones we don't want are on this outside right here. So we're just going to select all these interfaces with whatever method you feel you want to use, and then we're just going to do I to inset. You want to make this approximately the width of this part right here, this metal part. So maybe I need to make mine a little bit thicker than that. I'm going to undo it and then just do it again. You can kind of tell that from here to here there's a little bit of an inset as well as it gets pulled out, and then it's not really like that on the center. So we're going to have another edge loop going around here, and then we're going to pull this out. What we want to do first is actually merge these to the center. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to do one for front view, and I'm going to do K for the knife cut tool. I'm going to left click on this vertex and then just go pretty much straight across. If you want it perfectly straight, just do C to make a straight line. Then just left click and press enter. Switch to vertex select, select this one, shift select this one, alt M at last, and then do the same thing down here. K for the knife cut tool, left click. You can go all the way over to this vertex if you want, and then left click, select this one, shift select this one, alt M, choose at last. So now what we want is that loop cut that goes around. So we're going to do Control R, left click, bring this up, and then we're going to do Control R, left click, and bring this very close to the other one. Then we're going to go to face select, we're going to alt right click here, and this part's actually going to be pulled out, so just bring it out on the Y axis. We're going to do something similar for the rubber part, so we're going to select these interfaces, so just select these. Then we're going to do I to do an inset. We can use B for the border option this time, and we're going to make it as thick as you think the black part is, so you just want to take a look at your reference. It looks like this part's somewhat flat, and then it gets pulled in a bit, so we're going to have to add in another edge loop, and then we'll pull in this whole thing, and then we'll inset to make the window. So we're going to just do Control R, left click, and bring this in pretty close, and then we're going to go to face select, and we're going to select all these interior faces again, and we're going to pull it in a little bit on the Y axis. Then we just need to start adding some bevels to this, so we're going to switch to edge select, and we're going to start alt right clicking and just doing Control E edge bevel weight to add in edge bevels. I'm going to do alt right click here, do Control E edge bevel weight, go till it says 1 and left click, and then I'm just going to repeat that process throughout the rest of these. Just alt right click, Control E edge bevel weight, go till it says 1 and left click, and just quickly finish that up for all the rest of them. Just be aware that there's two right here very close to each other, so you want to try to get both of them. Do alt right click, Control E edge bevel weight, go till it says 1. For the inner one, it might be easier to go to face select, right click here, and then do C for circle select, get all these edges or faces, switch to edge select. Now you're going to want to deselect the edges that are in the center like this. You just want the outer ring, so we want to deselect this one too actually, and then just do Control E edge bevel weight, go till it says 1, left click. Then you can take a look at this, and if you like it, that's fine. If you don't like it, you can adjust the edge bevel weight amount, or you can remove some of the edge bevels on some of the edges and see if you like it better. The last little detail for this piece is actually this top part where it has a little bit of an inset, and this I believe is where the roof would actually come up and meet with the windshield. So we're going to have to make an extrusion and then another extrusion to bring it up, and that's really pretty much it. So we're just going to tab into edit mode, you still have edge select. We're going to alt right click here, and we want to deselect all the edges that are down here, so C for circle select, deselect all these edges, you just want the top ones. Then we're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring this back slightly. Then we're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring it up slightly. And that's it for that piece. You can add in some edge bevels if you want to. So what you could do is alt right click here, Control E, edge bevel weight, go till it says 1, and do the same here, alt right click, Control E, edge bevel weight, go till it says 1, left click. And once you're done with that, just make sure to save it by going to File and Save. Thank you to our awesome Patreon supporters. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter yourself, head on over to patreon.com/StephenBrooks. Thank you for your support.